this Thursday evening at 9 o'clock. And we're joining you tonight because we want to make sure you're aware of the additional changes that are going to be moving our way over the next few days and even into the beginning of next week. We have issued an 11 Alive weather impact alert for the second half of the day Friday into the evening, overnight, and through the day on Saturday, as we are tracking a system to the west that's producing some showers and some thunderstorms, and that's what we're expecting to move into our area as well. Now, we're not issuing this alert because we think this is going to be a widespread severe weather event. That's not what this is going to be, but it is January. We don't get a lot of strong storms in the month of January. It happens occasionally. In fact, we can have severe weather here in Georgia at any time of the year, not just the spring months or the fall months here. In the dead of winter, we can have severe weather. And this system that we're watching moving in has a low level risk for some severe storms. And also, there are going to be some spots that get some impressive rainfall amounts that we'll have to watch for the potential of some rising water in some spots, depending on who gets into those main bands of the heaviest rain. So we just want you to be aware of this coming in because it's going to be the most rain that we've had in a while and the biggest threat for any type of storms that we've had for a while. But again, not a widespread severe weather threat. We're talking about some isolated storms that could be on the strong or severe side. So make sure you have a way to stay aware, and make sure you have a way to check radar, like with our 11 Alive app. You can download that on your phone, and also make sure that you enable it to be able to get warnings in case any warnings are issued here for your area. This is what we're watching with the satellite imagery now. Now, we don't have any rain here in our area, but we've been watching the clouds increasing more through the afternoon hours into the evening hours, but still no rain with this yet. And we're going to keep these clouds with us overnight and for much of the day tomorrow too. The system that we're watching is a pretty large complex of rain and storms. This is the area of low pressure that's moving quickly up toward the north and east, but along and trailing from that low, we've got this cold front here that's going to be moving our way. In fact, I just see up to the east of St. Louis here within that area. Not only do they have a severe thunderstorm warning, but there's also a tornado warning there to the north and east of St. Louis, between St. Louis and Champaign, getting closer to Interstate 57 there. But again, that's well up to the north, and that's where a lot of that storm energy is located, where they can see more of those severe storms. But down to the south, that is where we're watching the trailing cold front with it, and we've been seeing some showers and storms developing. Now, I know this doesn't look that impressive out there right now. You really just see a few of these spotty showers developing here. But over in Arkansas, we've got a couple of spots with a little bit of heavier rain. Down in Louisiana, some of that's going to be moving into parts of Mississippi. Excuse me, here at home right now, it's not bad. We have clouds, but it's all dry out there. And these temperatures are staying mild with the moisture content in the air being a little higher and the clouds from today holding in some of the heat from the afternoon. This is a live look right now over the city of Atlanta. I'll put this on full screen so you can see this here a little bit better, where we have still some clouds around, but still nice visibility. It's not like we have any fog developing or low visibility in spots or anything. And then our view from our favorite tower cam, at least this is my favorite tower cam. This is the one at Arizona Avenue, right on the DeKalb and Fulton County line, looking westward here toward the city of Atlanta, where you can see still the great visibility and our beautiful skyline that we have out there for right now. Now, let's go back to that area of rain that we're watching over to the west of us. And even though we're not seeing anything big materialize yet, it is in this area in the dark green where there's a level 1 of 5 risk for the potential for a few isolated thunderstorms to turn severe, possibly. And I want to make sure you understand, when the Storm Prediction Center issues these outlooks, it goes from like 7 in the morning to 7 the next morning. So even though this says Thursday here, this really goes through the overnight hours till about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So still overnight, there's potential in these spots here in northern Louisiana, parts of Mississippi, eastern areas of Arkansas, and western Tennessee, going up into parts of Kentucky, Illinois as well, and parts of Indiana, where we're going to be watching for some of those isolated stronger storms. And we showed you some of those up near St. Louis already. Then tomorrow, The system gets a little better organized, and a few more ingredients are going to be feeding into this to give some spots a better chance for some severe storms. And that's the area that you see in yellow right here. That includes parts of north and western areas of Alabama, much of Mississippi, far southeast Arkansas, and much of Louisiana included in that level 2 of 5 risk. And that means there could be a few more of those stronger thunderstorms that develop. Then look at the level 1 risk surrounding that, and it extends over into parts of north and west Georgia, right here along the metro Atlanta area here, kind of halving that, where we see the potential for a couple of isolated stronger storms. And I do think that that would be later on Friday into the overnight hours, possibly, with some of those isolated stronger storms that would be moving on through. Once we get into Saturday, you see all of us are included in that dark green color, which is that level 1 of 5 risk for a few or an isolated severe storm or two. If any of those stronger storms develop, the main things that we're going to be watching for will be pockets of heavy rain. Also, we have the potential for some strong winds. Both of those are moderate risks for those. The heavy rain risk is going to be higher on the north side and lower down to the south of us. But then the risk for any strong winds as the main stuff goes through on Saturday will be really for all of us as the heavier rain comes on through. The tornado risk is very low, but it's not zero. We're not overly concerned about a big time tornado risk with this, but it is still just a very low risk that we have. Also, not too concerned about the hail risk with this type of system too. Now, when I'm talking about the heavy rain risk, it's going to be the haves and have-nots. And there's going to be a sharp contrast between who gets a lot of rain and who doesn't get much rain at all. And on this model, it's roughly along the I-85 corridor is that dividing line between who gets a lot and who doesn't. And the areas north and west of the I-85 corridor are the areas that look like they're going to pick up more. Now again, that's a rough border that I'm talking about, and the interstate really has nothing to do with it. A lot of times when we talk about areas north of I-20 and south of I-20 or 85 or 75, people think sometimes that the interstate actually has something to do with it, but it's not. It's just a rough dividing line that we often see that happens here on the maps, and it's just easy for us to say. Because as you can see here, it doesn't really go to the 85 corridor here in parts of Coweta County. Again, it's a rough guideline here of what we're watching, but the models have been pretty consistent in keeping those higher rainfall amounts on the north side and lower amounts on the south side. And in fact, look at some of these, for example. This model's showing Marietta and Carrollton getting over 3 inches of rain. This is just guidance. It's not for sure that that's going to happen. Showing maybe 2.5 inches in Gainesville and Canton, close to 2.5 in Dalton, maybe around an inch here in Atlanta. But then south and east of the I-85 corridor, maybe not even 1/4 of an inch in Covington and in Eatonton, maybe around or a little bit more than 1/2 inch in Peachtree City, and possibly around an inch in LaGrange. So these models have not been in total agreement there. So we're going to be fine tuning this too. And it just all depends on which areas get under those heavier rain bands for a longer amount of time. And based on what we're seeing, it looks like as this system moves through, it's going to be pushing through very slowly over North Georgia. And that's why we're thinking they're going to get the higher amounts there. Here's a look at the Almanac for today, where we did hit 70 degrees for a high, way above average. We should be around 54 for this time of year. So that's about 16 degrees above the average. Low this morning was 53. That would be a little more typical of an average high for this time of year. Average high for this time of year is 54. Our low this morning was 53 though. We should be around 36 for this time of year. We need some rain. Right now for the year, we're about 1/4 of an inch below average in rainfall. But if you'll recall, at the end of last year, we were more than 8 inches below average in rainfall. So we really need some rain. We still have a drought in our area. And this rain coming in could help it, but we don't think it's going to wipe it out. Here's how those numbers that we had today kind of timed out. There's that 53 degree low from earlier this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. There's the high this afternoon around 4 o'clock when it was 70 degrees. But now we're staying mild, pretty much still holding in those 60s here this evening. And we don't expect to go down too much more during the overnight hours. Right now it is 62 in Atlanta. We do have some 50s in the outlying areas. Athens is at 58. Peachtree City's 57. LaGrange 59, as well as Carrollton, and some 50s up in parts of North Georgia too. Not a huge wide range of temperatures there, thanks to the moisture content in the air coming up and those clouds that are over us. You can see here tomorrow we're going to start off at about 61 to 59 and then up to near 70 we think in the afternoon hours tomorrow, with the rain chances beginning to come up a little bit more later in the day. So here is the timeline of what we think is going to happen here, and you can see the cloud cover early in the morning. No rain though here yet, but once we get to lunchtime, some of this rain from the north and west is going to start moving into northwest Georgia. Generally light here at first. You see back in Alabama a few pockets of more moderate to heavy rain falling through there. Going into 5 o'clock in the afternoon, notice how when I was showing you those higher rain amounts in north and west Georgia, well, those are the areas that are going to get hit first, and they're going to have the longest duration or impact from some of those rain showers coming through. This is at, again, 5 o'clock, getting closer to Atlanta. And then at 10 o'clock, pretty much along that I-85 corridor, some of those pockets of moderate to heavy rain there. And you would think that in general, just looking at this, you would think that, okay, that's going to pass on through and it's going to be over, right? No, that's not the case. This just kind of fizzles a little bit. More rain scattered over North Georgia into Saturday morning, and we still haven't had the main band of rain coming in yet. That pushes through during the day on Saturday at noontime. You can see some of these pockets of moderate to heavy rain potentially pushing on through, and then beginning to diminish later on in the afternoon hours. And we think that during the evening on Saturday, we'll be drying out a little bit more. So this is mainly an early in the day Saturday event to around lunchtime, and then through the afternoon hours, it's not going to stop immediately, but it's just going to gradually start tapering off there. And then through the evening, the rain ends, and then look what happens on Sunday. The clouds start breaking up, but that's not all we have. Again, just like looking at this, just at first glance, you think, okay, the rain's out of here, it's gone. The sunshine comes out, it's going to warm up, right? No. It is going to get cold. Look at these arrows coming out of the north and west. That is really going to send a surge of really cold air our way. We had a high today of 70. We think we'll be around 70 tomorrow. Saturday around 69. Sunday, our high is only going to be in the 40s. So that's going to be a huge drop. Could be a shock to your system there based on comparing what we've been dealing with for the past few days. So the rain chances, 50% Friday, 80% Saturday until it moves out, and then dry and cold Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Here's another look at a couple of other models about the rainfall. Now, the American model is showing that dividing line between the heavy rain and hardly any rain at all, more to the north and west, like 5 inches possibly in Dalton, 1 inch in Canton, but only 1/3 of an inch in Atlanta, and lower amounts to the south of us. This model, the European, is showing that band of heaviest rain coming right over generally the I-85 corridor. It's showing 3 inches for Atlanta, 2.5 for Canton, and lighter amounts there on the south side. So as you can tell, the models are having a hard time nailing down this system too. So that's why we keep kind of fine-tuning them as we get closer to it. Now we've got that southerly flow, the mild air in place. That's going to be with us on Friday as well as on Saturday. But then look, as the front comes in, the rain moves away. Look what it opens the door to. That cold air dives in here. We're feeling it on Sunday with a high only in the 40s. Then Monday morning, we're going to see lows that will drop down into the 20s, afternoon highs in the 40s again. Below freezing again, most likely 30, 31 on Tuesday morning. Afternoon highs back to the 50s. But then another surge of colder air comes in for the middle and also the end of the week. So it's not going to be one of those systems where it gets cold and then 2 days later it's back up to 70 degrees. This one's going to get cold, and we're going to stay cool or cold for an extended period there. Average high for this time of year is 54. So it's really just getting us back to where we should be for this time of year. Look at the lows, how they're mild the next couple of days, and then wow, how they drop. Monday morning, 28, 31 on Tuesday, and then check out the high temperatures, 70 Friday, 69 on Saturday, and then there's that drastic drop there, 48 for highs Sunday and Monday, back to 55 degrees here on Tuesday. So big changes coming in for the end of the week and also into the weekend. So here's that 7-day outlook. You can see in bright red there where we have the 11 Alive weather impact alert in effect for late Friday into Saturday with that rain and the potential storm risk that we have here in our area. That clears out late on Saturday, and then Sunday, clearing skies, but cold. 48 again Monday. That's after the morning low of 28. And then we will see the conditions there up to 55 in the afternoon Tuesday and Wednesday, back down to the 40s here for your Thursday, with a low chance for some showers on Thursday at about 30%. So thanks for joining us for this extended weather update on 11 Alive Plus and Weather Impact 24/7. We will have another update for you coming up tonight in our newscast on 11 Alive News here on 11 Alive Plus, and then updates throughout the day tomorrow as we fine-tune the timing of the system and those rainfall amounts, and then also watch for any clusters of storms that could turn strong. So thanks for watching. We'll see you later, and have a great night.